Welcome back to Sakura Gamer, everyone. In the last episode, Suki here sprayed Nekohime with a garden hose.
And then we all found out how stinky Nekohime really is.
She's very stinky.
Gross.
I don't like her. I like Suki.
She gets neck beardier by the episode.
So now she's demanding an apology, and Suki is more than gracious enough to give her one, however sarcastic it may be. Figured you'd redo the line. Sorry, should have,
Sorry, I mean, I already did it and we don't have context for it.
Good point. Good point. Anyway, Suki takes a step toward me. My heart pounds.
Would you purr in pleasure just for me?
Oh my god, any subscribers we've lost with me trying to voice this shit are gonna come back for you. She brushes a strand of hair off my cheek.
While you desecrate my flesh?
What? She's so close I can't think straight. She smells so good. It's almost bewitching.
You can do whatever you want to me. Anything you like.
Her eyes shimmer mischievously.
You're so quiet and reserved, but you know what they say.
Her finger traces a line against my cheek. It burns.
It's always the quiet ones.
Suki, please. I squeeze my eyes shut and push her away. Suki stumbles backwards, but she doesn't fall. She manages to catch her balance at the last moment.
Sorry, I was just playing around, but didn't you like it?
Uh-oh. Did we like it, Coiny? What do you say? Coiny says we liked it, but... I did like it. I like the attention, but I actually want to have a serious conversation with you.
Really? That sounds so boring.
It might be boring, but there are a few things that need to be said. Deadlines for one thing, and professionalism for another.
Oh, professionalism is for people who have regular jobs.
Will you let me into your room? I want to talk about this like adults.
Well, if you really want to, I suppose I can't deny the invitation of a cute girl.
Aw.
What's it look like in here? Oh my god, it's plain as shit.
Suki pushes open the door of her bedroom and gestures me inside.
Welcome, fair maiden. Please enjoy pillaging these unexplored lands to your heart's content.
Thank you. I look around Suki's bedroom. I look around, and I frown. Her bedroom is even more sparsely furnished than I imagined. There are all the basic essentials one needs for a bedroom: a bed, a wardrobe, and a desk. Suki's computer and tablet rest on her desk, but that's all. There's nothing here that tells me another human being even lives here. No decorations on the wall, no books or games or magazines, no beauty products lying on the desk. Looking around this room makes me feel a little lonely. If Suki's bedroom is this inhospitable, it's no wonder she'd want to escape, stretch her legs, relax in the sunshine for a while. Now I feel a little unreasonable for getting so angry at her.
Oh, now you feel some empathy.
Don't you have more...
More what?
More stuff? Suki flops down onto her bed. The mattress sinks beneath her weight for a few moments before puffing back up to its original size. She toys with a strand of her hair. It's black, like oyster sauce, ew, and contrasts startlingly against her white skin.
Wasn't she just tanning?
She was.
I do have more stuff, but most of that's back in the shrine.
Where you used to live. She nods.
I'm a little sad, I guess. I had to leave behind a bunch of stuff, like half my clothes and my expensive makeup and all my shoes, but I don't want to go back there in a hurry.
Didn't you tell your family you were leaving?
I couldn't tell my family. They'd freak out, especially my grandmother. She's so stuffy. Never been able to walk around in a shrine like this.
But my words die in my throat. Suki has stripped off her shirt and pants, revealing some very cute pink frilly underwear. There you go. I glance at her confused.
There's no way that bra is under that shirt.
Nope. She shrugs.
And there's no way those panties are under those hot pants. What? It's hot.
I guess.
Plus, you're wearing your underwear. Why can't I wear mine?
Point taken. Not that I'm wearing my underwear because I want to or anything. Idiot.
Oh, but where are my manners? Take a seat.
You don't need to tell me to take a seat in my own house.
This is my room.
You haven't paid any rent yet.
Guess you found out, huh? Clover said she'd cover for me.
I'm not as stupid as you might think.
I don't think you're stupid at all, Nekohime.
You don't?
On the contrary, I think you're incredibly smart. Even if you do purr like a cat when you get patted on the head.
That was just a one-off.
Yeah.
With a flushed face, I sit myself down beside Suki on her bed. Well, I say it's her bed, but she's actually using Clover's old bedding and pillow covers. Nothing about the room really belongs to Suki, other than the tablet and the computer, and maybe a few items of clothing hanging in the wardrobe. Isn't it lonely being here?
What do you mean?
You said you can't go back to see your family, and you don't have that much stuff. It can't feel very welcome.
Don't worry about me. I can function just fine. Having stuff makes life more comfortable, sure, and I really do miss all my primers and toners, but I can make do. I have to make do. Much rather have my freedom than my makeup.
Freedom?
Mm-hmm. You might have gathered already, and I don't know how much Clover's told you, but I really hated being a shrine maiden.
I thought you were a shrine maiden in training.
It's the same thing. I'm supposed to inherit the shrine when my mother retires. But she's always so busy, it fell upon my grandma to show me how everything's done. I spent most of my life under my grandma's strict supervision. She's in her 80s, but she still has a lot of life left in her. She's as strong as a bear and as stubborn as a mountain goat. Whenever I was late getting up in the mornings or didn't brush my hair properly or talked back to her, she'd slap me.
Really? She slapped you?
Not with her hand, but with a ruler. She kept a
Ow.
wooden ruler with her at all times so she could correct my behavior. Used to be a bratty kid. Ran around the shrine a lot and went exploring. I'd go off on my own and I wouldn't come back for hours. But my grandmother hated it. She really hated it when I tore my clothes or got my shoes muddy or got leaves and twigs caught in my hair. She told me I looked thoroughly unpresentable, like a little demon, and she hit me. She hit me, and while she was hitting me, she ran through a list of all my faults and flaws and told me to apologize. She was the toughest, most terrifying instructor there ever is.
Didn't your parents mind?
They were too busy attending to the shrine. I don't know if they noticed, and even if they did, they wouldn't have intervened. My grandmother's quite frightening. Everybody's afraid of her.
But I thought your mother ran the shrine.
It technically belongs to her, but my grandma still has an influence in the day-to-day management. You can say what you want about her, but she's very organized, efficient too, and she's good with money. Mostly because she's such a miser.
But I wrinkle my nose in confusion. That doesn't add up.
What doesn't?
I met your grandmother when I went to the shrine. At the time, I thought she was a sweet old lady. She was perfectly normal in her plain kimono and her white toe socks and wooden sandals. She wore her gray hair in a bun and had her glasses on a string around her neck. Her hands were withered and ropey, and her dark eyes were watery, covered in a fine film of old age. But she was spirited enough and talked with me companionably while I worked on her computer. She even made me a mug of green tea and some delicious strawberry daifuku. Her strawberry daifuku tasted so good. I'm sure she can't be a bad person. Not if she makes sweets like that. Really, Nekohime?
It would come back to sweets with you, Nekohime.
Suki prods the tip of my nose. She's smiling. Sweets are a good way to judge a person's moral fiber. Just ask Willy Wonka.
Oh, really?
Yes, only pure-hearted people can make delicious sweets. I can divine the hearts of men through their homemade cooking. And that strawberry daifuku was crazy delicious.
Then you should be pleased to know I was the one who made that strawberry daifuku.
You? I stare at Suki. A few seconds ago, I understood the basics of the universe. The sky is blue, the world is round, the earth goes around the sun. Now, however, not so sure.
Oh no, she's turning into a flat earther.
I was thinking the same thing. But your grandma, she said it was handmade.
And it was handmade. That wasn't a lie, but she never said her hands made it, did she?
I guess not.
Classic Japanese sweets were the only sweets I was ever allowed to eat at the shrine. I got a little interested in sweets because of that, and I started learning how to make them myself. Not that good in the kitchen, but if a recipe involves mochi, matcha, or azuki beans, I'm an expert.
Well, I glance at my thighs. This whole while, that delicious strawberry daifuku I ate, that was so filled with love, that was actually made by Suki? This loud, obnoxious girl who lounges around the house in various states of undress and sprayed me with a jet of cold water a few hours ago? I can hardly believe it. I know looks can be deceiving. After all, I live with Clover. But there are degrees.
My grandmother is very nice and personable to strangers, but she's always been a hard ass with her own family. I don't think she does it to be mean. She says it's tough love. She thinks you have to be cruel to be kind. But I got sick of it. Couldn't even ask her to back off. If I did, it'd just make her hit me. Maybe I'd have to go without dinner.
Suki frowns. She looks lost in thought.
Maybe being a shrine maiden wouldn't have been so bad if it weren't for my grandma. If she'd been a little bit nicer, perhaps I could have stuck it out. But she wasn't. She's a horrible old witch when I was younger, and she's still a horrible old witch now.
Is that why you told her about the rice?
Mm-hmm. It was just an act of petty revenge, really. Did a lot of stuff like that to her just to pay her back. I'd hide her into her slippers or put spicy sauce in her miso soup in the mornings. For a while that was enough, but when she found out about her computer, she got so angry. She said I was a wicked child who had no respect for her elders. Told her she was a bitter old woman who wanted to ruin my life. And then she told me to leave. Like it's my fault she believed me when I fed her those lies about purifying her computer. If she'd had half a brain, she could have looked it up online herself. Isn't it obvious putting rice into the D drive will cause problems eventually?
She must have believed you because she trusted you.
Well, I guess. She was a weird old woman, but I think she loved me in her own way. But being loved isn't always enough, you know?
I know. I know more than I would like to admit.
You can't join a club, Sayo. It would be nothing more than a distraction.
Why do you need to invite friends over? You should be studying.
Of course you need to go to cram school. How else will you get into a good university?
We just want you to keep your options open, honey.
You might resent us for it now, but sooner or later you'll understand.
We're doing this because we love you.
Ugh.
Yeah. Love isn't always enough.
Exactly. Somebody might say they love you and they could be telling the truth too. They might really truly adore you from the bottom of their heart, but sometimes the love can be toxic. My grandmother wanted to turn me into a perfect doll who would obey her each and every command. She thought stripping away my freedom was the best thing for me. I disagreed.
And that's why you came here? Suki nods.
That's right.
Do you think your grandma misses you?
Maybe, but she should have thought about that before she yelled at me to get out. I'd rather die than go back to the shrine, so our visual novel has to be a smash hit. I'll do everything I can to turn my dream into a reality. As long as I have you and Clover by my side, I can do it.
Aw. Dicey. Dicey says to respond with the third answer. And as long as I have you and Clover, I know I can do it too.
That's the spirit.
And, I glance at my lap shyly. I know you're being serious about this now, so I'll try to be a little bit more lenient. Sticking to deadlines and getting things done is important, but I think it's important to have fun too.
Exactly. If we don't have fun making this visual novel, our customers won't have fun reading it.
Fun. It's not a word that's weighed heavily in my life as of, well, ever. I was too busy going to cram school, too busy studying, too busy trying to impress my parents. Then I was too busy working. But maybe I should take a break every once in a while. I think I deserve it. Suki and I both deserve it. We've been trying too hard for far too long. Thank you, Achievement.
Bikini.
Bikinis!
Hey,
oh, yeah,
Suki,
she's got her
how'd you get
bikini.
Nekohime to agree to this? Oh, it was quite simple, actually.
Suki smiles coquettishly, her fingers pressed together at her front.
We had an earnest heart-to-heart, and we came to a mutual understanding. Now I wonder what kind of heart-to-heart that was. Are you sure it wasn't a mouth-to-mouth instead?
Oh my god. Clover! I try to prod Clover on the side, but she's too quick for me. She darts away, sticking out her tongue.
Sorry.
Though I'm annoyed at her, Clover raised a good point, and we will discuss that point in the next episode. It's good to see Neko Hime. Fuck me. Not that. I'm just gonna end the episode. Thank you all very much for watching.
Bye.
Hoo boy, and we will see you tomorrow for another episode. Freudian.
You really had a slip of the tribadism there.